our YouTube feed right now. Okay, remember, during the commercial breaks, we are live on YouTube, okay?
Perfect.
All right. Hi, everybody on YouTube. We're kicking off a brand new week here on Spaced Out Radio. Sorry it took us so long to connect up, but Vivian and I were having a little bit of Skype issues. We couldn't get her to actually hear me, but we got it now. We got her on the phone, and we're going to kick things off here very, very quick here on the show. Big shout out to Walter, Jessica, Philip, Ronald Penton, the Ronald Penton, everyone is here. Worsley, Horror Realm, UK Andrew, Aussie Mark, Steam Trained Mark, that is. We also have Aussie Teresa here. Jason, thank you for coming on in. Go66, Little Marky Spender, good to have you here. Brett, thanks for coming in. There's Science Bob, everybody. Science Bob, great beard and all. Gotta love them. Absolutely. We're big fans of Science Bob around here. Chemical, good to have you here. Adnome, what is going on? Hey, Vins, Alan, thank you for coming on in. Nuck, we're getting closer, man. We are getting closer to the puck dropping, man. Triple M, hey, is it Ghost's birthday? Happy birthday, Ghost 66. From all of us at Spaced Out Radio. Bigfoot Michigan Rob, thanks for coming on in. Chris Jarvis, great to have you here as well. And of course, our guest tonight is Viviane Chauvet. I love the name, Viviane Chauvet. So French, so beautiful. It's just amazing. Hi, Vivian.
Hi, Dave. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem. I love the French. Love them. Love them.
And we love you.
I know. It was so nice to meet you in San Francisco. I know we didn't get a lot of time to talk, but you were absolutely amazing the short time I did get to chat with you. And I wanted to do one of your healings, except if you were busy, I wasn't. And if I was busy, you weren't. And so I was a little upset about that.
Well, Dave, time is always on our side. And yes, it was wonderful meeting you, connecting with you in San Francisco back this February at this beautiful conference. And, you're always welcome to do a session, an Arcturian session with us at any time.
I love it.
Send me an email and we'll make it happen.
I love it. Thank you. And we've got one feed going here. Let's give a shout out to Douglas Keller, SJ. Thanks for coming on in. Really appreciate that. Bizzle, good to have you back. Nathan Rudd, much love, my friend. There's my brother and my good friend and mentor, Eugene Braxton. I absolutely love Eugene. Bill WD40, how are you? Jim Christie's here. Yes, we can start the show. Jim Christie is here, everybody. So we got about 30 seconds here, Vivian. I'm going to read an intro to you, or to the show, and then an intro to you, and then we'll get everything going here, okay? Hey, Andrew Hall, good to have you back. All right, Viviane Chauvet, everybody. We're going to have a great time with her tonight. All right, final tweet has been sent out. And we are just a couple of seconds away. There's the second feed. Super Chat is open, everybody. We also want to remind you a great way to support what we do on this show is join our Space Travelers Club for $5 a month and do a little shopping at the SOR Vault. Hi, Zach. Hey, Millennium. Philip Blair, good to see you again. Viviane Chauvet, our guest tonight. Sounds like an expensive champagne. Viviane Chauvet. I love it. She's a beautiful soul, this one. Here we go, everybody. Let's have a great week and a great show tonight. From atop the rainy mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates across North America and digitally on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor favor, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. Viviane Chauvet's inspirational life story is about an advanced biological Arcturian hybrid, galactic ambassador, spiritual teacher, speaker, and interstellar conscious voice channel has touched the heart and soul of thousands of people worldwide. Viviane is the owner of Infinite Healing from the Stars and co-owner of Energies of Service, where their successful quantum holographic healing practice and intuitive consultation assist people in transmuting negative influences, reintegration, soul fragments at a multidimensional level, achieving higher soul growth, and creating significant paradigm shifts. Yeah, what a mouthful that is. But I mean, the big thing here is she is also a communicator for the Galactic Federation and works in close partnership with Lyrans, Andromedans, Pleiadians, and other interstellar delegations. She is also known as a member of the Arcturian royal lineage. Yes, Arcturians, if you don't know, are one of the oldest, most enlightened star civilizations known to this quadrant. Viviane and her interstellar masters are here to oversee the planetary reascension process. We're going to learn all about that tonight. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Viviane Chauvet, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us tonight. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you, Dave, for having me tonight. It's a trip. I am thrilled to be here and very happy to share this information, share energies, and a lot of joy together tonight.
Me too. Me too. It's good to have you here. I have to ask you, let's learn a little bit about you, because our audience who may not be familiar with you or your work, how did you get started in all of this? What was your enlightening experience?
Oh, that is a fantastic question, Dave. I'm glad your show is longer because we can talk about it for 2 hours. So just allow me to establish the foundation together for your fantastic audience. So what it means to be an Arcturian biological hybrid. So it started a long time ago, even prior to this incarnation, when I was still in my Arcturian form, when we decided to create.
Oh, well, that's nice. Maybe the Arcturians didn't want us to hear from her. All right, let's get her back on the channel here, because that's not a good start. Let's go here. Hold on. Let's get her back. Apparently, we had a little bit of a snafu there. I hope her phone didn't die. That's awfully quick if it did. Awfully quick.
Hello, welcome back.
Welcome back. Did the Arcturians knock us out? Did you say something wrong this early in the show?
No, it's more than that. It's possibly some interference, because Arcturian energy are very, very strong, and our presence sometimes can bring up some, interference that we needed to clear. So we did the clearer. So we apologize for this little minor interference, and we are gladly moving forward together. How about that?
Are the aliens here with us tonight during this?
Well, they're always here, and that depends on what alien, but we always here for my delegation, of course. Wherever I go, whatever I do, wherever I speak with, my Arcturian self and my Arcturian delegations are always with me. Always.
Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. And we were just about to learn your story here. So let's learn about it. How did you become who you are?
I became who I am at a very early stages, like I was mentioning briefly before this reset in technology, is that it was a decision that was made at a point of time where I wanted to create a physical body that will contain a very high level of DNA and genetic material in order to be a very effective, clear 24/7, if you would, conduit.
You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. That's twice. Oh, my goodness. Let's see if we can hook this up. This may be a long interview. We got 1:35. Let's see if we can beat 1:35 next time. Hold on. And we're ringing again. We're ringing again.
Hi, Dave. I'm so sorry. I do nothing. I promise. It's not on our hands.
That's okay.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, we're going to continue on. We're going to continue on and go from there.
Absolutely.
So for the third time, if you get hung up on this question for the third time, I'm going to bail on that question and we're just moving on, because that means something means that story is not supposed to get out. Maybe you're hiding something that we're not supposed to know here.
Yeah, so something else is not those who want me to tell you and let the world know. But it's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to move forward in time. How did I came about to know who I am? I would say from a human level, I would say by the age when I was 5, I really much at that time, I already had a profound realization that something was tremendously different about me, the way I related to the environment. And then moving forward to childhood, when I reached my early 20s, this is where my true path started. This is where I started to blend and merge deeper in terms of my communication, my active communications with my star family, and also starting to much more embracing this other part of me that was growing and also wanted to merge with my human aspect. So my 20s has been very much a marking point for me. And I would say my path has deepened and expanded so much. I have made leaps and bounds forward into my evolutionary ascension, in my sense of becoming who I am now, and also becoming a lot more public. I started to be public about 7 years ago when I gave my first official interview as a hybrid, representing a portion of the delegation of the Arcturians and also other interstellar delegations. So that initial interview was really much the kick out in terms of the connections with the world, and then from there the networking has increased. But I would say, go back into the timeline as we conceive it to space and time, is that my early 20s have been very much a turning point for me in that sense.
Very interesting. So with that, do you recall your first ET experience?
Oh, yes, very much so, Dave. And this is something you're going to relate to, because I know I heard you give an interview before, and one of the things that will relate to you is that having those very conscious, what it's called, encounter of the fifth kind, for the fifth kind initiative, where you are in conscious connections, not just seeing a craft or a UFO in the sky, and then you see the light or you see the craft landing. You're more into the fifth initiative contact, where it's conscious communication. I grew up in that environment. You have to think about my human parents were already in connection. We're already, making contact. We're already seeing ship. We're already going on board mothership, and all this kind of, close encounter initiative. So I grew up in addition to this environment. So making contact, having the collective coming, having telepathic communications, which is for us a transmission of thought forms, and those thought forms carry out the language, carry out the intentions and the essence of the being that you're communicating with. And this is something that's always been very natural, a part of who I am. And that's because genetically, I'm also built to be that vessel, to be that form of channel. And that feed has increased over time. It's not just, it can be at will, but I would say for me, it's like telling you, we're going to keep Skype open between us 24/7, and you can up on Skype and just say, hey, are you there? And I would say, of course I'm here. And it's always there. The feed is ongoing. There's no I don't need to turn it off, so to speak, as I just need to tap into the consciousness, and here it is. So this is something that, for me, it's as natural as picking up the phone or texting a friend, because I am part of that collective. So having those communication, direct contact, it's part also of my family lineage, even on this planet, from the human perspective. It's something very natural. And this is why I connect very much so with the Native Americans, because if you look at to the elders, to their tribal traditions, the Kachina dance that I witnessed a few times with the Hopi, for example, is that it is very much part of their tradition. This is something that is natural to talk, to witness, to be in the presence of star people. And it's something that is very, very comfortable for me. So when I'm on a reservation or in contact with Native Americans, we have this understanding of each other. We feel to our presence, we acknowledge one another, and I can very much relate to their tradition in regards to honoring and connecting with the star people for generations, So that's also something that I share as a commonality with them, and I grew up in that sense. My mother is part Native American. We have Algonquin tribe heritage in our family, and so I have this other aspect of growing up with the Native American tradition, the earth, and how we connect with the earth, and then honoring with our star ancestors and the lineage. So, very rich family history, both on the galactic side and on the human side. So it's something that is very natural, very unique.
How old were you when this started?
When this started? What do you mean by this?
When you first started having your contact?
As young as 5 years old.
5 years old. So this has been with you your entire life.
Yeah, my entire life. It's been with me since the inception. And that was the goal, is the moment I integrated the physical body in this human expression, they've always been very much with me. And as far as my memory from this three-dimensional linear time that I remember is as far as I was 5 years old. And growing up, even as a child, we would go, my family, like I mentioned, being very keen with those direct contact, connecting with the star people, having those connections. So we would go, out in the woods and nature. We would go there to, make contact, look at the ships and connect in that sense. So I grew up in that environment, and that was part of my childhood. So people ask me, what did you do as a child? I was like, I didn't play with dolls. I didn't play with toys that way. I would more like want to connect. And, my toys was flying saucers and ET characters and extraterrestrial little beings. And that was part of my environment. This is what I felt more comfortable evolving during that energy, rather than doing 3D games that I didn't find appealing or logic. So, and you will see as you talk energy to the wording to the sharing, you will see that, you can tell that this is something that is it's a profound part of my makeup. This is what I've come to do. I've come to directly, physically be an anchor, a ground, if you want, directly a physical presence on the planet, and bring that direct bridge of communication and connections, but also through a very conscious conduit. So this is why my consciousness has awaked at a very, very early stages, and it has been an ongoing process, moving through the teen years, when you're teenagers, having the same form of perception, connection, communication, and increasing over time. It's like somebody turn on the volume on a scale of 1 to 20, and the volume keep going beyond that. And then, of course, today I reach a completely different level. But you can tell that And it's looking back on my journey from, let's say, the age of 5, when I came into consciousness connection. I could hear them, I could feel their thoughts, I can start to already to thoughts, analyzing my environment, being able to make a discernment, looking at what adults were behaving as or children and analyzing that. And it's almost like I was at the point of assessing energy, collecting information, being able to relate, how to respond, and of course being a child on top of that. But growing in that dual, and I think of it as I was always been a dual sense of dual identity, my galactic self, and also the aspect of me that is identified as a human experience, feeling emotions, wanting to relate, asking questions, wanting to exploring and learning, and also expanding my knowledge. And so moving up through the scale of consciousness, the other turning point where I was in my early 20s, when the collective came and they said, because I'm originally from the Earth point of view, I'm originally from Montreal. So we were talking about the French. I'm very French. And then the team came and they said, okay, your life is shifting again. You're going to move now. We're going to move you completely out of Canada and we're going to move you to Arizona. So that process took a few years to manifest, but they were very keen in terms of, we need to bring you in a place in the grids of the Earth. When the grids is very ancient, it's going to help you to activate and receive the next level of downloads that you need to do in order to activate the next set of gifts, the next set of skills, and what you're going to be doing moving forward in the world. So, and when I arrived to Arizona, I followed their lead because I left everything behind. I have an entire life there in Montreal. I completely left everything behind and moved forward and landed in Arizona. And I can tell you that it really triggered me and the downloads I went through in 2007, I went through a complete brain download. My brain function completely shifted, my body completely, they reattuned my nervous systems. I went through a complete download. It took me a month to completely integrate that download. 2007 was huge pivotal time for me. And then from there, I was able to hear and connect with my delegation a lot more clearer. And then, of course, the other part of delegation with the Galactic Federations, with our Council of Elders, working closer with the Andromedans. And then later on, the Lyrans came back, and you can tell that I call it my galactic network has expanded tremendously over the last few years, but it has to be done by a certain sequential of evolution I was undertaken. So from, childhood, early 20s, and then moving to Arizona, and then getting to the reset 2007, you can tell that there was a very, very sequential timing in terms of how I was evolving, and my timeline was also evolving. And then it also attracted different other function. I started to attract more attention to the negative side, the dark side, getting more interested in me. They were very, very interested in my DNA. They wanted me to be part of their team. And so that was the other aspect of the corner. I have to learn to interact and get more assistance and help with that. So it's been a very, very interesting journey, Dave, and very rich, so many levels, such a multidimensional level. We do so much work off planet, a lot of work on planet, plus adapting to human life. And I always tell my team, this life on this planet is fascinating. It's just, it's very complex. At the same time, it's fascinating. It's beautiful. It's,
right.
The level of learning here, it's off the chart. Very much so.
We're going to get more into your ET contact and the healing aspect of everything as we continue on in the show tonight. But but I do have to ask you, in regards to your age when this started, and we only got about 2.5 minutes before we got to go to break.
Okay.
What aliens came to you first? Who did you see?
my Arcturian family, they've always been the first one. You have to think about, if you start to understand the true essence of who are the Arcturians, not just what's been written about them, but what is really to get to know them and experiencing, having a very experiential contact with their essence and their consciousness, they will always be the first one to connect with me, protect me, always been there before I enter the embodiment, before my soul integrate the physical body, during the process of birth and the moment I came back on the planet. They are with me every step of the way until my mission is done and I leave the planet. It's all part of the agreement. So they were, and they shall always be the first one for me, because my Arcturian father has assigned a very concise group of Arcturian delegation, if you want, a team that are assigned to me for my Earth mission, and we are together in synergy. It's always there 24/7. Even when I sleep, they are Arcturians in my room watching over my physical form. And when I wake up, when I do, everywhere I go, we are functioning within a collective, even though I am an individual in the human form, mostly in the human form here on this planet. So, yeah, all of this to say, yes, they were the first one.
We've got about 45 seconds before we need to go to break. Viviane Chauvet is our guest tonight. Do you regret your contact? Because a lot of people don't know what it's like to live a normal life without it. Do you regret the way you grew up?
Of course not. No, I do not.
Well, that's good.
No.
That's good, because as you know, a lot of people do.
And bless everybody's heart, and it depends also from a point of consciousness, depending on the path. I cannot speak of other people's paths. I can only admire and then bring lots of inspiration for those who've chosen such a path. So definitely our heart goes out to everyone.
Absolutely. Viviane, I'm going to get you to hold on right there, because we're going to step out for a break here at the bottom of the hour. Viviane Chauvet is our guest tonight. Healing from the Stars. What's it like to have ET contact and be in constant communication? We learn next from Viviane right here on Spaced Out Radio. I didn't know you were from Quebec.
Yes, I am. I grew up there. Montreal, Quebec.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. I didn't.
And that's why, if you look my last name, my last name is Chauvet, and you said so beautifully, by the way, Dave.
Thank you.
That's French from France. You're most welcome. My human dad is from France.
Yes.
So I grew up with a double French culture.
Yes.
European and Quebec.
Yes.
Very French.
I can understand a little bit of French. I can speak it a little bit, but it's so rough because, I haven't taken French since high school. And I remember I had this real asshole of a French teacher in grade 11, and I just hated him. So yeah. And it just
my God!
took the love.
Awful.
Took the love of the language right out. So, oh well, it happens.
Well, that leaves a bad taste. It does. For one individual making such a bad taste on something beautiful, it can be also, great experience for you,
mm-hmm.
and then completely ruining that. That's so wrong. Did you grow up in around the Vancouver area?
I grew up about an hour east of Vancouver in a city called Abbotsford.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's where I grew up.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and then I moved away from that area 5 years ago. Actually, it was 5 years ago yesterday. 5 years ago yesterday, I moved up north.
Oh, wow. Okay, 5 years. Do you like it up north?
Love it. Nicer people, nice everything.
It's interesting you say that because I remember I traveled to Vancouver before, and I don't recall, it's been many years ago, I don't recall all the little places I've done, but it's just there's something about Vancouver itself that's just magnificent. Love the energy. Nature is grand there, and I felt that connection, with the people and the land, nature, trees.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy Vancouver. Very much so.
I like it up north because the lower mainland is... there are places, it's just getting way too attitude for me. Way too much attitude for me. And I didn't like that.
Oh, okay.
As the population has grown, and the Vancouverites have kind of moved into the suburbs because they can now afford places out there, it has just been, it's just a lot of rude people there now. And I don't like that. So
well, definitely not the type of energy and also the experience you want to build for yourself, that kind of environment.
No, exactly. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we moved north and have loved it ever since. Human Carl. We gotta call him Human Carl around here because we don't want anybody to get confused with the alien Carl, who is our friend around here. So Human Carl is asking, where in Arizona are you?
In Phoenix.
Oh, you're in Phoenix. Very cool. When did you move there?
Because the team said so. I have to come here. I have a calling. I heard the land calling me. I heard the mountains calling. I have to be here.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, literally. And then, I discovered Arizona, and then I heard the canyon and the mountain told me that the land says, hey, we need you here. And then the team confirmed. They said, yeah, this is where you're coming. This is at the soul level where you need to going to be. It's
Right.
going to be a huge breakthrough for you. And
very cool.
And Arizona, there's an ancient grid here that has been supporting me a lot, and I blossomed so much more since I've been to Arizona.
We've got about 30 seconds left before we are going to sorry, one of my listeners in the chat room put Daniel Thorson. I hate that Daniel Thorson guy. Anyways, thank you, beautiful Marie. And there's my beautiful friend Natalie from Belgium. You are looking stunning today. Good morning to you. And we're going to get things going here with Viviane Chauvet, the beautiful Québécois. Alien. I don't know the word alien in French. I'm sorry.
Extraterrestre.
Oh, extraterrestre. That's right. Okay, here we go. Music's on. Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for each and every one of you joining us wherever you may be on this beautiful planet we call Earth. I want to remind all of you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/spaced out radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show and on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Tonight we are talking with ET contactee about healing with the stars and from the stars. Viviane Chauvet is our guest. I got to meet this lovely lady down in San Francisco earlier this year at UFOCon. And we're going to really enjoy this conversation tonight. Vivian, welcome back.
Thank you so much, Dave. Such a joy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. I have to ask you, what's it like being in contact with so many different extraterrestrial species?
That's a great question. In my experience, it's wonderful, and I'll tell you why. Because it's not just to be in contact with an interstellar civilizations or a few, it's the quality of the contact, the consciousness behind it. And what do I mean by that is that we stay in connections and direct communications with the enlightened part of those interstellar civilizations. So imagine for a moment, like sitting in your living room and you have, those beautiful advanced beings, one from Andromeda, you would have from one Arcturus, you have maybe a Sirian, and being able to be in their presence, learn from them, being able to feel that it moves you beyond identity, sedona, personality trait, and all these characteristics that we wear like Halloween costumes. And sometimes when we wear them so well, we identify, we think that's what we become. But when you're in presence of, those beings who have reached level of enlightenment, reached level of consciousness, they have infinite, incredible knowledge, wisdom, experiences, and you start to interact with them to serve your highest and best. When you are in that type of setting, let me tell you, it becomes a way of living very quickly. And I know I can hear some people thinking, well, you are depicting an ideal portrait. And in that sense, yes, but at the same time, it's really what it should be. And I know that there's so many people on the planet has been, having experiences from a different nature. And so I always say, as rich and diverse the Earth is in terms of interactions, cultural background, populations, belief systems, intentions, consciousness, and so forth, is the same thing in the universe, as above, so below. So moving forward, one of the invitations I always reiterate to people in terms of making, encounter of the fifth kind initiation, consciousness connection is for those who feel drawn to the stars, for so many of you, so many people on the planet knows in their being that they are from a very distinct star lineage that we call the star seed. And we say, start to focus on that star lineage because it's in sync with you. It's going to be serving your highest and best. You're going to learn different aspects of you. What is it you can rediscover, possibly different multifaceted aspect of you. And then from there, after time, it makes people's life richer, more fulfilled, more complete, as if a part of themselves have come home within their own celestial being, their own celestial space, within their heart. And then from that point, your life start to reflect that fulfillment, and then your gifts start to awaken, you start to see clearer, you get more higher discernment, you get also different take in perspective of what reality is about and what we are building and co-creating as a cohesive family of light here on this earth. So, and like I mentioned before the break, is in my case, of course, I'm here to share about our perspective and our experiences, is that right coming on the planet, I've always been very, very surrounded by my star lineage, in my case, primarily Arcturians, because this is who I represent. I am what's called an emanation from our Arcturus star system, and I came into a hybrid physical body. And so, in my sense, I've always been experiencing the collective aspect of them. Arcturians are very keen into evolving with the collective, while, of course, respecting the individual expression of each soul and promoting the fulfillment and the growth of each soul. It's also done with the collective. So this is a kind of mentality, if you want, outlook, perspective, the way I approach people, the way I talk, the way I inspire, wherever we go, wherever we do, whether it's in one-on-one session, whether it's having a speaking engagement like the conference that you and I met, Dave. We're always inspired to bring the diversity into a more unified way. And then from there, we can also thrive to achieve higher goals that truly serve the purpose of all, and also promote the highest and best and reverence for all life. So in that perspective, as you may feel already through our words, through our energy, to our exchange right now, you will see that we represent a very enlightened, conscious, advanced level of contact and experience, and all the wisdom, the knowledge that comes with that. So that would be how we would like to share that with you tonight.
Okay. For people who don't understand what hybrid means in regards to extraterrestrials, how do you know that you are an ET hybrid?
That's a fantastic question. So let's go back into establishing a more commonality of base. What is a hybrid? There's many variation and level of hybrids. It's not just a general term that you will apply to everyone. Being a hybrid, by definition, is the blend, the genetic blend of usually a human mother and an extraterrestrial or star being father, if you want. And there's a genetic blend, and then a child born of that union, so to speak, will be characterized as a hybrid. Being a hybrid can also look at the Earth. If you look at the human civilizations, the entire human race is categorized as a human race. And what does it mean is that we know that through the true archive, the true history of the Earth, that the early stage of the human development has been so many DNA manipulation, DNA in genetic manipulation from different star systems that have come on the Earth to bring their aspect of their strength and then mixed with the DNA of the human. So everyone carry at the DNA level some form of star lineage or extraterrestrial origins. Going back in my case, so in my situation is that the same concept apply, except that consciously this is a choice that we have made. This is a decision that was made. So there's soul contract involved. There's also agreements involved. The goal was to push the envelope, if you want, to bring forth the genetic blend of a very compatible, on so many levels, of a human mother with our genetics from the Arcturians, create a physical body, a vessel that will contain as high percentage as possible the ET part of the genetic material, whether it's to the DNA, to the structure, to even the way my body is designed to be a constant conduit. So I'm able to hold really high frequency, and it feeds me, it nourishes me, it's a frequency that I need to maintain my functions. So I'm genetically blend with two very distinct civilizations together in a very advanced way with lots of respect and integrity. And even to my DNA is designed to be a very attuned antenna, if you want, or receptors that allows me to be in constant connections, not just through platforms or telepathically. I'm still part of the collective off planet as I am here on this earth because of the way genetically I'm built. So we really push the envelope because technically this kind of body or this type of physicality are not designed to sustain such heavy gravitational pull of a planet that's still existing and vibrating on the third-dimensional reality. And even when we talk about the fourth dimension, it's still too low because your currents come from the higher frequency, higher realms. So imagining the resources, the energy, also the minutia of building such a physical body that will survive, that will be able to thrive, that will still be able to stay healthy and still be able to counteract that the gravitational pull of the planet that I can feel every day to my heart, my organs, my functions, the way I breathe, my muscular system, my skeleton structure, all of it. So we really, really push the envelope, so to speak, which is why in my situation, and I only speak about my experience here, is has a biological Arcturian hybrid, then we went above and beyond to go beyond DNA manipulation. We built a physical vessel that would be also an anchor, if you want, for their frequency. So I can also work with the grids of the earth. So I can also, help to accelerate the paradigm shifting on the planet, all in alignment with the ascension process. So the challenges behind that is that it requires a lot of maintenance, so to speak. It requires a lot of assistance. This is why I am so surrounded. The team has been with me, and that ties up to the question you asked me a while ago, Dave, in terms of what ET did you see first? Of course, it will be my star family. It has to be. So they can intervene if I need some repair. They can intervene if I need, health-wise, anything, my body, if they need regeneration. So they have to be there to intervene. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to be on the planet for so long. And I still have a lot of work to do. So they constantly upgrade my body. They constantly upgrade my biofield, making sure that I stay up to date, the downloads, through also the different nervous systems, your gateway of lights, the lymphatic system. They're always upgrading me. So this is why it's a fantastic question, because it's intricate and it's not one answer fit all. It really is case by case. And this is the sharing I just did with you all is just to share about my case, my situation.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right. So when the contact was made with you, at the ripe young age of 5 years old, how did that go for you, number one? And number two, obviously, you probably went and told your mom and dad about what was going on. And, were they prepared for that to be happening, or did they know about it?
Oh, that's a good layer, too. I didn't have to tell anybody anything because they already knew. It's part of the agreement. They were already knew that I would born differently, than I would grow up in my own uniqueness. So they already knew. It's an understanding. It's an agreement. It's a choice. It's something that even after my birth, I know that they were still in connection with my star family. There was a lot of rendezvous points, making sure that I was functioning, that I was evolving naturally, that I was, being able to breathe, being able to, eat, because there was a time even as a baby that I was unable to keep any food on this. Anything I was eat was rejected. The body could not digest, could not retain any nourishment, nutrients, minerals. I was unable to adapt to the digestive system. So there was another level of intervention they had to do, because otherwise the body would have died and I have to disconnect, and I would be here talking with you, wouldn't I? And so this is something that has been always understood, even to this day. We all know, my parents know who I am, I know who they are, and we know that we are in this together. And this is a very unique, very beautiful, very empowering soul agreement journey. We're in this, from my human family as well as my galactic family and beyond. So they always knew, so there was no need to share with them, hey, you know what, I feel different, or there's those being I talk with, what do I do with this? It's already, there was an understanding. It was always part of the experience, if you would.
It makes sense. So after you started getting together with the Arcturians, all right, when did the other species like the Lyrans and the Pleiadians start coming around?
They came later. Okay, that's a twofold dimensional answer. The first dimension to it is that from a conscious point of view, they came on later. From an unconscious, when I leave the body and I do my off-planet work, they've always been part of my galactic journey. So let's put the two aspects and blend the two timelines together. So from an earthly point of view in linear time, the other aspect of the galactic experience came later on. So I would say, by the time late 20s, early 30s, when I was fully ingrained in Arizona, the other interstellar contact became more predominant. Now, with that being said, even though consciously I may have not remembered those aspects for a while, when I'm off planet in my natural form, my other form, then we are in constant connections. So there's never a disconnect. It's just a simply of where you are, other part of yourself, connect with your conscious part of your human self. And then you put the two bunch together, so to speak. So this is why the answer has a two-dimensional aspect to it. So it's always been present. It's just it came into play more later on my young, like being a young adult, because I was already in a state of awakening and I was already starting to activate other memory connectors, and then they came into play more on the front burner. But it's always been there. It's always been part of the journey. It's just, think of it this way, Dave, is looking at a map. Let's say that being of light comes and say, here's the map of your soul fulfillment journey, as you have chosen and as we have planned all together carefully. And then as you reach certain threshold or certain markers on your map, certain points will come more predominant and will come to the surface or will come into your life. And you would say, well, at the point of, let's say when I was 25 on my timeline on your map of life, then these beings came and started to interact with me. In reality, they were already there. It's just for your perspective on your map of life in your journey, that marker says 25 years old. That was your marker point for them to come. But they were always there. They were just interacting with you at a different level, if that makes sense.
But how do you recognize the signs when the aliens are trying to get a hold of you? I mean, it's not like they just ring your doorbell and say, hi, we're here. How are you? Thank you for allowing us in. Can we have a discussion with you about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ? It doesn't work that way.
I find one of the things I love about being in the human form is the humor. Oh, thank you for making me laugh. This is delightful. Well, they always say, be mindful of what you're wishing. We might as well ring a doorbell because we've done that before. I've seen them waving at the window to my living room as I'm taking off to go to work, and I see them waving at me like, okay, remember, we're here. So I want to bring that a little touch because that could be also the case. So let's go back more into an in-depth answer on that. And you have to forgive me, Dave, and everyone listening. One of the things I've been working on is developing my sense of humor. So I'm like Spock when it comes to humor, so bear with me. Just smile and just pretend I'm funny, even though it's not funny, but just bear with me. I'm working on it. So how do you know? How do you recognize aspect of communication, making contact? So again, it depends on what level of consciousness you are connecting with. I'll give you an example. I have this beautiful client, I won't say the name. She's also located in Canada. So working together and opening her consciousness, opening, different aspects of her. And at some point of time, her star lineage started to become more predominant in her life. And what happened is that we will tell this person what they're telling us from our collective to yours is that you have reached a point where of emotional maturity and also where you are much more ready, even in consciousness, to welcome them back into your life. And the person says, yes, I have no fear. I'm ready for this. So one of the first things in that situation that her star family did was to bring what's called contact on the first level. They start to put the ship, little light ship in the sky, and the person recognized, okay, I see you. Then came back to me and said, now that you acknowledge the connections, acknowledge the consciousness of that craft instead of focusing on the craft itself. So go back again. They came back a second night, and next time there was a conscious contact made. The ship responded to her, to a beam of light, and they went off. Came back to me, says, okay, the conscious contact has been made. I said, do you know that contact is going to increase? Are you ready for this? And she said, yes. So the next thing they did is that they enter what we call the dream state connection. So in her astral body of light, she went on to the ship and connected with her star lineage in that consciousness, because when you are in your astral body of light, there's no restrictions. It's easier to be able to adjust to any frequency, and you'll be able to connect with those higher frequency and those higher consciousness. So that connection was made, and when she returned in her physical form, it was returned in full consciousness, meaning that she retained all of the memories, experience, sensory, everything her body felt, everything she felt during the astral body of light experience. And when we came back and work with her again, now we can look to see, at that point, my team said to her, you know that the next level, if they have the capability to match the frequency of this reality, they may come physically or appear physical to you. And at that level, then we had to readjust her body matrix, because it can be shocking to the body. And something people always say, oh, we're ready for contact. But it's like, are you going to shock your body? Are you going to shock overload your nervous system? Are you going to overload your body? You have to be ready in that sense too.
All right,
and
Vivian, I'm going to get you to hold on right there, okay? Because we got to go to break at the top of the hour. Viviane Chauvet is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. You all stay tuned, because we're going to get more into ET contact and how aliens can heal us in hour 2. We'll be back. That's a good first hour there, Viviane Chauvet. Very good first hour. Let's give you a little bit of a clap there.
Yay! Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
I'm going to quickly run my puppies outside. I'll be right back, okay?
That's a good idea.
I'll be right back.
Of course.
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spicing up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
Are you an experiencer of something strange that can't be explained? Do you want help finding out what's going on? I'm Ryan Stacy, head of the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We've teamed up with Spaced Out Radio to investigate cases filled out in the SOR Sightlines report. We are independent, and there's no cost to what we do. All we need is your experience. Let's find out what's happening together on the SOR Sightlines report.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month, and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/spacedoutradio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache.
Back. We got 2.5 minutes.
Why not take care of your facial hair with mighty?
Perfect. Welcome back. What breed of dog do you have?
I have 2. I have a German Shepherd and a German Shepherd cross.
Oh wow, beautiful dogs.
Yeah.
We have 4 cats.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we have 1 cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I absolutely adore animals.
Me too. Me too. All right, we've got 90 seconds.
Okay.
Everybody in YouTube, just so you know, when we come back from the break, you can start posting your questions, and I will start asking them to Vivian. So bear with me on that. I'll leave that up to you. As don't post them now because the chat room's moving pretty quick, and I don't want to lose any. So just bear with us. All right, bear with us, and we'll make things happen. Hey, Donnie C., welcome. Life Dweller, good to have you here. Thank you for coming on in. Viviane Chauvet is our guest tonight. We're having a lot of fun. All right, we got about 15 seconds.
Okay.
The people on in our YouTube chat room want to know, do you eat breakfast meals for dinner?
Breakfast meal for dinner.
Like pancakes and eggs, and you don't? Oh, I love you. I love you. Yes, one for Dave. One for Dave. Here we go. Hour 2.
And on Facebook.
Blasphemous breakfast for dinner. Welcome back to the second hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate you taking the time to spend with us. Hi to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates across North America and on the digital side on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Antitchthan. Antitchthan is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show and on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. We are talking with Viviane Chauvet tonight. What's it like to be healed by extraterrestrials? What's it like having contact? What's it like living a life that is different than most of us would ever expect? Viviane, welcome back to Spaced Out Radio.
Thank you, Dave. So happy to be here.
Glad to have you here as well, my beautiful friend. Now, for people who don't understand what healing by extraterrestrials is this really happening? And if so, how?
Beautiful question. I love the way your mind works.
Thank you.
So let's define what healing means. You're welcome. So healing, to our perspective, it's a very large umbrella. Healing can be also helping you to resolve past attachments, healing soul, healing your body, which you already have the natural ability. So think of it as healing is, what does it represent? What is it that you feel that needs to be healed and resolved? So to us, healing and resolution of any issue come together. So I'm going to explain and share from our perspective. So what we do, it's called Arcturian holographic soul healing. And what we do is that when we work with someone, we always first connect, do an active listening to what is the person really is telling us, what their energy is expressing, what is their soul saying, and also what the body is decoding in forms of different loops that we decode in terms of issues. What is the recurrent pattern that is happening? Because those patterns in your body tells a story. And if you listen to the story, you'll be able to go through decoding the source of those stories. Where is the root source of it? And you can go through the timeline. So we call it timeline. It can be known as your past lives or any form of prior incarnation to this life. So in our situation, Arcturians are masters eaters of the soul. We also work with your body matrix because your body, we stimulate the vital force of your body in order to stimulate the natural self-healing abilities that your body is designed for. And this is something that also gives people lots of empowerment. And by empowering everyone, it's also helping you to remember that you do have those healing faculties within you. So it's a win-win. It's a partnership because no one can heal without a consent. And that's very important. No being in this universe can come and say, hey, I do have the all-knowing knowledge to you, and I have this magic wand, and you're going to heal body, mind, spirit, you're good to go. It doesn't work that way. There's karmic implication, there's soul contract, the soul growth. We cannot interfere in those kind of soul agreements. So it's always done with first your permission. Then permission is granted verbally to the person, also permission from your higher self. And then we have to go deeper and do very serious work. And we have to ask permission through source that is appropriate for that person to receive that kind of assistance. So it's complex. At the same time, it's amazing. So this is why healing by extraterrestrial, yes, the technology is there, the knowledge, the consciousness is there. Again, depending on whom you are connecting with. So, as always, to serve your highest and best without interfering into your soul growth. What is it that you've come to learn and accomplish? And that's another element that is very important in healing. So, when you say healing by extraterrestrial, we're giving you our perspective from a very enlightened point of view, if you want. Learn it from civilizations like the Arcturians have reached a level of enlightenment millions of years ago. So there's a lot of trial and error behind it to understand that there's also a non-interference, respecting the free will, respecting also the karmic ties, the soul evolutions. So there's multiple layers that needs to be taken into account when we call a healing and what it's going to represent. Healing can be also just the liberation or setting a soul free from the attachments of different past life, for example, or different aspects from their multidimensional self. And as a result, it creates a space to liberate all the energy of those who are attached to it. So it's fascinating, it's beautiful, it is possible, and it's done with that type of integrity. So always keep in mind that your permission is needed, and also we have to look at there's a non-interference in terms of what needs to unfold for a soul. There's certain issue that some certain human beings go through, like Alzheimer or other very serious, what we call issues, that can be set up by the soul, and the soul will come and says, you cannot interfere in what I need to learn. So permission denied. And that is not the case, we will say, in that situation, we are not authorized because the karmic are going against universal laws. And so when you do healing, so to speak, which is a very big complex umbrella, and this is just not Reiki or energy work or chakras, this is go beyond that. You have to see, am I really serving the highest and best of that person and giving that person the empowerment to continue to be able to heal their lives and continue to blossom and really flourish? So that would be our answer in that type of healing.
All right. Well, how do the aliens choose who gets healed and who doesn't? Because there's a lot of bad crap going on this planet, from COVID to cancer and everything in between. There's a lot of healing that needs to be done. And yet we still have a lot of issues and not enough people getting healed by our extraterrestrial friends.
We appreciate that. However, with lots of love, we would say this is a misconception. So the global crisis you're going right now, we know it's fabricated. It has been put into place for various purposes that serve a certain faction that's been controlling the planet for a long time. So if you look beyond what we call the chaotic waves that's going on, right now your planet's going through a very retractive time. I feel like we're getting into isolations. We're going to feed into fear of people dying. A virus has been introduced, restrictions, resources, and so forth. You have to get into a higher alignment and ask different part of you, what is it that is truly behind it? And what is the true meaning? What is the truth behind going this planetary crisis? This is something at the soul level that many of you have prepared for, because your planet is going into what's called a momentum in light. You're reaching a tipping point. This tipping point of the light that many into the spiritual movement or different level of conscious movement call the age of the Aquarius and so forth. The labels are of no importance. What's important to recognize is that you're moving into a major purging, a planetary purging on the planet that is absolutely needed. You're moving into major breaking points, turning points onto the planetary timelines and where you are moving and evolving as a civilization. Because there's been so much growing light to different light workers, conscious awakening, positive contact with your star brothers and sisters, and also so many souls coming to the planet with almost no veils or no veil whatsoever, with very prophetic gifts, and they bring that energy that the old structure that was the domination, the oppression from dark forces can no longer be sustained. And that other faction knows it so well. So what do you do? So let's give an example that everybody can relate to, shall we? Let's say that you are a king and a queen, and you come from a very long bloodline royal lineage, and your lineage has been in control of the mass majority of populations. You have kingdom in different countries. You have control over the currency, resources. You are in control. Things are good for you. But at the same time, the very few will control the many. So over time, you will know that your dynasty, in that sense, it's coming to an end. What do you do as a ruler? You will do everything in your power to come up with very ingenious way to keep your ruling, to keep going, to keep the control. What do we do? Separate the population, create a phenomenon of fear, create also stimulate the people through the world to retract to their primal instinct instead of motivating people to move into a higher form of connections. We're not going to tell people, hey, trust your intuition because you're divine. You have the power to heal yourself. You can uplift your environment. You can co-manifest everything that you need. No, you're going to move into manipulation, fear, primal energy to retract and revert to instinct. So conquer and divide. That would be a good strategy, and we've seen that throughout history. So that's exactly what's going on, is that those very ancient illusionary structure of enslavement, oppression, and those old structures need to come to a conclusion because of where we are moving into this momentum of light. Ready or not, we're moving in that direction. We already see the timeline changing on your planet. Those who have chosen and embrace who you are, your gift, you come here in service to the light. You've come here to be representative, ambassador, speakers, experiences on behalf of many other very advanced civilizations, realms of light. There's many angelic beings on the planet in human form. You've come here with a very, very specific purpose. Do you really think that the dark forces can hold any longer? They cannot. So what you are seeing right now, it's the healing that you're referring to, Dave, is the healing that is pushing the ascension that so many generations of star seeds, light workers, hybrids, star people, angelic beings, human beings together have come to prepare. So what's coming onto the planet? It's coming the counterpart, the counter answer of that contraction waves of more of that wave of light coming in. So the dark forces understand and what they have created on purpose, like a ruler holding on to his ruling kingdom and being in power and control. What they're doing is that they're manifesting whether they want or not. The counter response to that contraction, to the negative wave we're in, that purging wave. So the counter response is this bigger wave of light that's coming to your planet, and it's coming, and everything is balancing itself. So the healing, the assistance that everyone is receiving, if you look throughout your Earth history, not from the books, not from the manipulation information you've been receiving and teach in school, if you look at the true archives of the Earth, listen to her pulse, look at the markings on the planet, on the sacred site, the crop circle, the decoding. People who know the knowledge, they feel, they understand, they come to reveal that information. You know that the level of assistance that this planet is receiving is unprecedented. It goes beyond and beyond, above and beyond. And so the umbrella of, why don't you come healing us? You're not victims. We're masters. We're only here to show you an aspect of yourself, of future self, that we wish you to activate now so you can embody that. We're here to assist you to be the powerful you that you are, not to save you. And that's something that we need to get out of the mentality. You need no savior. You're here as a response to the process. And so right now, on the global level, we all individually and collectively redefining our interaction with each other. We are rebuilding the structure, the societal archetypes, any form of belief systems that has been implemented over time. Your core values are changing. How you feel about yourself, how you connect with others, how you perceive life. What is your place on the planet? How do you apply your place? Are you contributing more to the light, or are you feeding the fear? How are you utilizing your gifts? Your gift is the gift of thoughts, your intentions. The gift of your thought combined with your emotions produce a seed of activation that will produce this result of what you manifested in that sense. So where are you investing your time and your energy in? Feeding into what the rulers want you to believe so they can contribute to their cause? Or are you sensing and utilizing higher discernment to perceive and see beyond those chaotic waves and look beyond, deeper into the ocean of what really is manifesting on the planet? So those also, it's part of what we call healing. You see how the dots are connecting? It's phenomenal.
I can see that. But do they choose, as we got about 5 minutes to go here before we go to break at the bottom of the hour, Viviane Chauvet is our guest tonight, do they choose whom gets healing? Because it seems like there are certain people out there, and I've met a couple of them, our Keith Andrews who comes on this show, Chris Bledsoe who's been on this show, other people who have major ET contact seem to be getting these healing messages that clear their bodies from everything from the common cold to things like arthritis and other diseases and problems that we have health-wise, and it just seems a little unfair that, there's many people out there who, could use it. I think of children with cancer. And when I was a kid, I was in Children's Hospital and had to be in near a child cancer ward. And it was one of the most horrific things I've ever seen, So, I mean, that's what I don't understand about it, is the picking and choosing.
We completely appreciate your heart and where you're coming from. Can only imagine, Dave, the impact it has had on you witnessing beautiful children going through such very difficult and challenging experiences. I myself, I've witnessed many situations like this. And when I was a child, I was oftentimes in the hospital for children, and I was witnessing other situations. So I do appreciate from a human perspective. I really do. We relate, and I can feel your heart. So that's one thing I want to acknowledge you right now. Moving forward in the knowledge is that there is no picking and choosing. If you listen carefully to what we just really, really shared, the wisdom behind it is that every soul prior to your incarnation will choose the condition, the situation, and also the challenges that will be the most appropriate for the soul at the time. So with that being said, if you look at the origin of your power, your abilities, every human being on this planet has the ability to heal itself. Everyone can. There's no privilege. There's no picking. There's no better me than you or you than me. That's a human perception. And it's also based on the programming that you've come to believe.
Right.
It's also part of what we come to teach you. Sovereignty, hey, remember that there's much more than meet the eyes. And so when you see a child, a beautiful child of any age, it doesn't matter, a child is a child, going to, any form of issues or challenges, health situation, things are serious on this world. Ask yourself, ask the soul, what is it that you are teaching yourself, or potentially that soul may have come to heal its lineage. We have seen instances of soul born into a certain family with certain illnesses or disease, as you call them. And the purpose of that soul is come to actually heal an entire lineage, a bloodline, from that experience. And you would say, well, that sounds far-fetched. But if you really feel and ask your inner being within you, not the lower mind that is questioning, hey, this is unfair, or this is to be more some privileged ones. I am no more privileged than you are, and I'm no more powerful than you are. We're here to serve as an example of your future self, that this is who you are, which is simply you forgot it. You forgot it because of the manipulation your planet has been undergoing by other factions that have self-centered interests and seeing you as gods in human form and says, great, let's manipulate the ability to heal themselves, to relate, to manifest, to connect, to live a life that is much more in alignment with what this human race was designed for. And what is the first thing that those dark forces went after? The very first thing that has been manipulated over and over and over again is your heart center. Because to your heart, you will recognize the self-master within you, and then your body will be in full connections with yourself, full force, vitality, energy, activating your chromosome of youth and vitality within your body to your chromosome, to the chronos of your body, and being able to say, okay, this loop or this decoding to a recurring issue that you call, I have a cold, I have a fever, I have allergies. What is the decoding behind it? Is that it doesn't appear out of thin air. It has a reason. The body language say, hey, I've been trying to get your attention, but you're not listening. So I'm going to develop a fever to let you know that we're burning toxin here. And so your emotional field is so overworked, so overstimulated that it will create
Vivian, hold on right there, because we're going to continue this conversation right when we get back. Viviane Chauvet, Alien Healings, continues right after this on Spaced Out Radio. All right, that's a good half hour. Good solid half hour.
That was wonderful.
And we're going to continue that talk.
Very
because
solid.
I apologize, but I do have to ask a couple of tough questions about that, okay? Because
of course.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things that I'm just scratching my head over.
I completely understand, believe me. I really do. And I can tell you, Dave, that these conversations with you are very easy because it's very fluid. You're open, there's a synergy, there's a connections. We are connected. I've gone through different shows where there's two hosts, and all they do for 2 hours with no breaks whatsoever is to bombard me with 5-6 questions at a time. And the team has to come and says, okay, this is not, we're not going to go this way. It's one question at a time, one person at a time, and listen to what we have to say.
Right.
Otherwise, we're going to disconnect. I've seen instances. So this is beautiful. I mean, it's like, we're going into very core question that needs to be pulled to the surface, and I love it. I think it's wonderful.
Well, good, because I got to ask a couple of tough questions, and we'll go from there. That's just, hey, sometimes I gotta, and I feel the need like I have to. So, but that's okay.
Absolutely. We're doing great, Dave.
Thank you.
Doing absolutely great.
I'm having fun.
Oh, yeah, you're so good.
You know?
Good. You do we. So do we. It's really a pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for having me, Dave.
Oh, I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
That's amazing.
Let's see. We've got about 3.5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'll get some water.
Yeah, you go right ahead.
Cool. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Going by fast.
It totally is. It totally is.
God.
Yeah, even Human Carl's liking this.
Yeah.
When Human Carl likes a show, we know we're doing well.
I'm so honored. That's awesome.
Yeah, good old Human Carl. We love him around here.
Bless his heart.
Nice, Brutus. I'd love to see a picture of that track that you found, man. Hello, Sonny Marnie. Does anyone hear a resemblance in Dave's and Joe Rogan's voice? No, I do not. Hi, Nick N. And let's see, what else can we do here? We've got about 90 seconds, Viv.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
All right. 1 minute. Hi, middle child. Welcome back. Good to have you back, man. Patrick, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Wow, I really appreciate that. Thank you. That's pretty cool, dude. Much love. And Gutter, thank you for the super chat as well, kicking things off tonight. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Reminder, great way to support this show. Give us a thumbs up. Hit that bell thingy. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hey, Crux, welcome to Spaced Out Radio. Here we go with the second half of the show right now. Here's some
Just
thunder. Hi, beautiful Catherine.
/donate.
All right. Cat the Kit. Add gnome, you're a gnome. Here we go. Music's on, Vivian. We pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your evening with us. We want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, you could check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam? Well, we'll get to his password later because I shouldn't have said that. But either way, we'll continue on here. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR News Wire. Tonight we are talking with Viviane Chauvet. We are talking about healing, aliens. Are they helping us? Are they here? What is the purpose of this extraterrestrial contact with us, humans? Let's figure it out. Vivian, welcome back.
Thank you, Dave. So happy to be here. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Right before the break, you were telling us about something that kind of irked me a little bit. So I have to ask this question. All right. You were stating about how, and I've heard a number of people state this on the show, that, before we incarnate here on Earth, we sign this alleged contract of what we got to go through. Okay. And what we agree to go through in this lifetime. Now, maybe I'm thinking about this way too humanly, or I don't know, maybe is that the right term? I don't know. But I just can't see, a child wanting to sign a contract growing up with, dealing with cancer, spina bifida, or some horrible disease. I can't see a person signing up to lose their eyesight by the age of 17 because they had a bug that infected them. I can't see someone signing up for, to be a child or just a human slave laborer in the days of where we see this still happening today in Africa or China or places like that. I don't see people wanting to sign up to be, hated for their skin color or their sexuality or anything along those lines. Like I just don't see people or in spirit form wanting to do that. If it's all about peace, love, and light, and that's what we are striving for, we're doing a damn horrible job at doing this. And I can't see why any soul has to incarnate or would agree to incarnate into this when this place is wretched. It's horrible at times.
Let's ground. Let's take a deep breath into your heart. Let's ground. So what you're just depicting, it's an aspect of this reality. So let's go back into redefining some terms here. It's not that so much that you are signing a contract per se. That's also an analogy, because when you say the word contract, right away people will have a notion or there's a connotation around that word, which is why communication is important. The word you're choosing, the word, how we connect with each other, how we communicate, has an impact on each other. So let's redefine this word and replace the word contract by reviewing. A soul will have several opportunities to align themselves with a life that may give them an opportunity to clear karmic ties or karmic debt, some possibly thousands of years, for example. So when you come here and you embody the soul and go through the process of entering the earth plane, going to the body, be born as we know it, and then start the journey. So when you look at a human being of all ages, whether it's a young child, whether it's a young adult, or later on in life, you will have, of course, a sense of empathy, you have compassion, you will feel the pain, the suffering. And of course, from that perspective, yes, that suffering is there, and it's acknowledging the pain and difficulty that someone or a family will go through. Well, the invitation here for you, Dave, and everyone, of course, is to transcend beyond what you have grown to identify as what is all the labels, acceptable, it's bad, it's good, it's dark, it's light. These type of conflict exists in this reality for a purpose, is to be transmuted. So if you accept the concept that originally you are a soul, a divine soul, And so many of you come from different star systems. You can come from different realms, knowing that this is not your first incarnation. If you also accept that the fact that you have lived before, so you're going through different series of journey. You could have been a warrior. You could have been a soldier. You could have been, the victim. You could have been a slave. You could have been also a king. You could have been different roles that you play. So you don't remember all of this in this lifetime, but it's still part of your archives. It's part of your Akashic records. So when a soul aligns himself or herself with a possible life, a possible timeline, the soul always reviews very carefully what is it entitled, where am I coming back in, what is the dynamic, am I going to be a male, female, how's the body, what is the dynamic of the family, what soul group am I coming back in, where on this planet, where is the soul team that I'm here to learn, integrate, and resolve. So the invitation we have with a lot of love and also wisdom behind our invitation is to, when you look as a child, that's because you keep mentioning that, so we can see there's healing going on for you at that level. When you look at a child or a person or a life form going through a lot of suffering, pain, whether it's from a deformity, whether it's an handicap, whether it's, ask the soul, wow, I can imagine what that soul had aligned themselves in and the level of assistance that soul is receiving. What you're perceiving is through your, what's called your human eyes, the identification to the physical form. But there's so much more behind it. It's very easy to get involved in the trauma, get involved in the drama and the storyline, and you get so involved that without knowing it, you're nourishing, you are feeding into the trauma because you're giving up your light, your power, your emotions, you are investing. So this is why it's called emotional investment. And that's, and can maybe for you who witness those trauma, can be also their learning that your soul has remembered to learn that I'm going to heal or being able to resolve those emotional investments. It doesn't mean, from a human perspective, that we are immune to suffering. Of course, we're going to have. We're always happy to have, whether it's at animal shelters, whether it's people, friends, anyone in distress, to be able to go through, because we understand that we're in this life together. So what affects you will affect me, and will affect everyone on the planet. So we're here as a collective. We're here as a unified collective that has a lot of resolve in all of us, whether you are ET-based, whether you are human Earth-based, whether you are from also the elementals. We're in this together. And what is the purpose of it? If you look at a much bigger team, or the bigger picture, the bigger tapestry behind it, is that we're here to heal and resolve those paradigms of enslavement, whether it's oppression, wheel of incarnations, disease, issues, a body that decays through age. Those are completely misaligned with our true nature. So which is why our star brothers and sisters from different, galaxies, parallel universe, those are enlightened. And again, we reinforce that aspect. Those are consciously enlightened, not so much the technology. If you have the technology, that's fine, but it has to be assisted by consciousness. And so those have come to really help us to really, by knowledge, guidance, direct assistance, and believe me, your planet has received so much assistance. The planetary timeline has been changed. So much chaos has been avoided. But at the same time, we also see and remember you in your true essence says, I bring something unique to the table, and you're going to allow me to empower myself so I can do what I've come to do. So many, many souls are here to also resolve those karmic wills.
Okay.
So there's no need to reincarnate. over and over again.
Okay. So this leads to
that's no longer required.
This leads to Jules' question. So what is the purpose of having a soul review at the end then?
Have you succeeded? Have you been able to accomplish everything you come to do? The sole purpose, the soul review, it's always come at the after an incarnation. It doesn't mean that it's a condition to where you're going to be moving forward. The soul review allows you to see from the school of learning sphere of existence. What is the choice you're going to be also creating that allows you this alignment with your soul? So the soul review has greater purpose behind it. It doesn't mean it's a punishment.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Well, okay. So this leads me to reincarnation then. Do we have a choice to reincarnate if we don't want to?
You can reincarnate in different form. You're not bound by the earth. You can reincarnate on different planets. You can reincarnate in different realms. Reincarnation, as you conceive it from the human perspective, is it's coming back on the earth plane in different time and space to different lineage. But you can choose. Remember that a soul comes in a body with great precision. Nothing is left by chance. It's not an accident. It's not because your parents forgot to take some contraceptive measurement or, it's just here comes another soul. If a soul comes in the body on the planet at any given time throughout history, it's always with a great purpose. The complexity for a soul to choose a life, to align with this life, the preparation it requires, it goes beyond what possibly the lower mind can conceive. So the complexity of the soul coming back with the precision, the synchronicity, the perfection of the timing, I can assure you it goes beyond what we feel, because when we come on the planet, we go like, oh my God, what have I done? Was I drowned? Would I decide to come back here? Would I choose that?
I could see
myself?
that. Did I lose a bet at a party?
Right,
yeah, absolutely.
Right. Did I lose a bet and then I got the short straw? Right. But it's normal. That's what it's called. That's the part of ourself we're healing. So that's the part of what we lovingly call the identity of the lower mind, the identity to my name is I was born in that family, my father was alcoholic, I grew up, my child was crafty, what have I done here was my purpose. You're barely scratching the surface of like, okay, these are the conditions you've gone through and we honor that. What can we do to help to heal from what you've gone through from the human journey? But when you start to discover the iceberg on the water, you're going to go, oh my God, I was so busy looking at scratching the surface that I lost sight of watching and rediscovering what is really underneath all of this. So this is why this is also connecting back to healing, assistance, teaching, learning, rediscover yourself. One of the things that my delegations of galactic being keep telling everyone over and over, and that includes myself, is you get to know who you are. The moment you start to really understanding, go beyond scratching the surface of your iceberg, so to speak, you're going to be amazed at what you're going to discover. You're going to start to go, oh my God, I am this multidimensional diamond, and I got so busy to identify myself with one facet that I'm discovering that I got so much more about me. And that's exactly one of the facets of the planet that we are getting assistance and help with, is to heal our perception of ourselves. We all are multidimensional beings.
All right.
All of us.
Let's get to Gnome.
So
let's get to Gnome Squatch's
Ray.
Let's get to Gnome Squatch's question here. Can a soul choose the year, past or future, to enter?
Yes, a soul can choose any timeline they need to come through. The timeline, as we conceive it, past, present, and future, it's a concept that is only existing in this three-dimensional time construct. We all abide to a quantified time to yesterday was July 5th, today is July 6th, 2020. It's a conception of time that we agreed upon. When you are at the soul level and you start to connect with even to the quantum field of the universe, that concept of time becomes obsolete. So you can come back in different timelines if you want to.
So if I wanted to, I could come back in 1850s when they were just discovering, the western side of North America and starting to get into it. I could get myself a nice big piece of property there and go hunt for gold if I wanted to.
Again, it's a karmic repercussion. You won't be able to disturb the timeline if you go there. That's the thing, is that we're applying quantum concept in terms of fitting into a three-dimensional lower mind box. And you go like, from that box, I want you to answer according to what I think the answer is. So yes, a soul can come back in different timelines through very historical points, as long as, because it's going to be very much in alignment as, are you contributing? Are you coming here with a purpose? No soul, guaranteed when you come back into your light form, you're going to have the same thought form. Your perspective is changing. You're growing into different sphere of learning and expanding. Right now, we are applying a very human concept fitting into that box, but it belongs into the quantum field. So it's perfectly different universe here. And I know it can be seemingly challenging to comprehend, but that higher part of you understands to achieve what we're sharing with you right now. So the invitation is detach, breathe through, give your lower mind a little holiday vacation here, and connect your heart with your higher mental faculties. And then from there, ask your heart, ask your inner being to show you, to feel, to integrate that knowledge. And you know at that point that everything is interconnecting. You'll understand from that point. And the same thing in manifestation. When people say, I create board of vision to manifest. What we do is that we're taking from a human concept, what we lovingly call your third dimensional lower mind. You're asking an infinite universe, a very participatory universe, to comply to what you think manifestation is about, and you ask the universe to compress itself into a box to fit your requirements. Of course, it's a figure of speech, but it's a good example to depict this. Instead of saying, okay, I wish to manifest this because it serves my highest good, I manifest something that will really help me move forward. And then you have the universe, now show me the next step. What is the best way to manifest this desire? Now you're getting in tune with the infinite resource of the universe. You're not demanding on the universe to fit your inner box. So it's the same principle here. And we love to use this analogy because it's an image we can relate to, if that makes sense.
Viviane Chauvet is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We got about 4 minutes before we got to go to break at the top of the hour. Vivian, question from April in our chat room. What exactly is a soul family?
Beautiful question, April. A soul family, it's a group of souls that you have been in connections with. You have shared many incarnations. It could have been your father, your mother, your sister. In your next life, you change roles. You think of it as a unit of soul that come together and travel to different timelines for incarnations to help each other to teach, to learn. You become the teacher, you become the student, you exchange. And oftentimes, people in your life, whether it's families, close friends, people are very close to you, oftentimes come from those soul groups. The soul groups are complex, and at the same time, you know each other for a very, very long time. And then we see the dynamic change because your role will change. You help each other to grow, to learn, to assimilate, to resolve. different also contract with each other, and then you continue to evolve. And it goes beyond incarnations. So soul groups are very important. And in that sense, Dave, if you allow me very quickly, I'd like to mention that I have a new show now, a new podcast, a show called The Infinite Star Connections. We do live streaming twice a month, so bi-weekly on Sundays, and I'm co-hosting this beautiful show with my friend Jeff Demers. Jeff is an ambassador for the Ponti, so it's another race of ETs. And of course, I represent mostly the Arcturians, along with other interstellar civilizations. And part of the reasons why we created this show, this podcast, is to really create a bridge to give the Star Nations a voice, and also allowing the Starseed, the experiencer people, to feel drawn to the Star Nations, to connect and have this kind of dialogue with questions. We offer techniques. We do breathing technique. We offer different form of channel information, planetary information. So we love to have this type of contact with the public and bring the planet in a very, very small, intimate networking. We coming together. So I want just to mention that about the podcast, and we can check it out on Facebook at Infinite Star Connections. We do have also a Facebook page where we're announcing all the shows, and we also have guests coming up, and it's just amazing. We love to have this dialogue, this connections with everyone.
I don't blame you.
Thank you for being here, all of you.
No problem. We've got about a minute to go here before we have to go to break on Spaced Out Radio at the top of the hour. Viviane Chauvet is our guest tonight. Now, I know there is a question here. I just gotta find it here. Chemical Summer is asking, does anthropophagy have any effect on the soul, and is it even relevant? We've got about 45 seconds.
I am not familiar with that term. If I will need clarification, what does that term mean to that person? What is the meaning behind it?
Well, we'll have to get to that after the break here, because there's like a 20-second delay, and we're not going to be able to get that. We're not going to be able to get that at all. But that's okay. That's okay. We could figure it out. The one thing I love about you is you don't make up answers. There's a lot of people out there who will just make up answers like they know what the heck was just said, and in reality, they have no clue. I like that about you. It's kind of cool.
Thank you. Yes, we say it the way it is, and if something is beyond our range, it's like, okay, allow us to help us understand what you're coming from with this question, and then we can answer it.
Absolutely. Let's do that. Viviane Chauvet is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We have her for another 30 minutes on the show. Then we're going to get to the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day. Stay tuned. A jam-packed third hour of Spaced Out Radio is coming up right after this. Vivian, I'm just going to quickly run my dogs outside again, okay? Hi, gorgeous Teresa. Hey, autopilot. Good to have you here. I'll be right back.
Thank you.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at mightymoosebeard.com today.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time.
All right, I am back.
You can find Cryptid Tales at YouTube.
I am back.
Welcome back.
All right, we've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes before we're going to come on back.
Perfect.
Patrick is liking my hair in the chat room tonight. Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate that. We're gonna do a poll here soon. Okay, we're gonna do a poll here soon because I'm really getting the feeling it's time to cut my hair. Just so you know, YouTube, I'm really getting that feeling. So I need to know what's up. And Lisa, we need to know what's up with you too. And there we go. Patting my head and rubbing my belly. There you go, cat. All right. We've got about 45 seconds.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not going bald, Davey. I'm not going bald. All right, 25 seconds. Thank you again to Patrick and Gutter for the super chats tonight. Devin, don't be a quitter, Dave. Oh, man. I know, but my hair is getting... Sandra doesn't want me to cut my hair. All right, here we go, guys. Third hour.
The Paranormal Lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
All right, music's on. Here we go.
If you'd like to connect with us, head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. I appreciate each and every one of you tuning us in. Thank you so much. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and on the digital side on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club, and Titchthan. And Titchthan is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Tonight, for the final time, we introduce Viviane Chauvet. She is an Arcturian hybrid. She is part of a galactic council. She is someone who is born and raised in Canada, now living in Arizona in the United States. And she has a lot of messages about healing from the stars. Vivian, welcome back.
Thank you, Dave. Beautiful. Thank you.
You are very, very welcome. What is the Galactic Council?
Well, Galactic Council is, think of it as the unification of different star systems that come together to oversee the development of different planets. And for example, here for this Earth, there's different council. There's a High Council of Orion, Council of Sirian. We have the Galactic Federation, of course. So there's different form of council, the Council of Andromeda, where the Andromedans and we also are part of. So that think of it as, like on the Earth, you will have different government or different council that will oversee different functions. It's something similar. So we're very active, and we're very active not just with this quadrant that as your solar system. We're also active with, throughout the matrix with different also star system, different galaxy, different parallel universe. There's different level of evolution that certain planets or civilizations will go underneath. And so we are assisting, we are very much involved with different level of evolution, and we're helping different civilizations throughout, different universe and parallel universe and so forth. So we have been in close collaboration, partnership with, also your spiritual hierarchy that oversees the ascension process for the Earth and other aspect of council that we are members of. And that also includes our own council of elders back on our, our star system. So it has different multiple functions.
Got you. All right. So how did you get chosen to be part of this?
If I understand correctly your question, you're asking me, how did I get so-called chosen for this Earth mission, correct? That's the question?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I thought I was decoding already. So it's not that I was chosen per se. It's within the Arcturian collective, we are very prone into stimulating and also observing how each soul evolves and what is the best next steps for that soul to take in order to reach a level of enlightenment. So in my situation is that, if you want, use the word choose, and I chose myself, and then with our council of elders and different factions, we have come to an agreement that I will be the one coming in that form. Now, there's one thing I want to clarify, because that has happened before, is that there are other star seeds from Arcturus on the planet, meaning that we all also have other delegations and other emanations coming from our star system in human form, what you call star seeds. Which is, in my situation, this is why we are sharing that, is that I chose, in addition to be an emanation from Arcturus, I chose to make sure that the physical body, the physical vehicle I would have, would be more in alignment with my star lineage. So we just think of it as having more equipment to my mission. But I did select myself. I stepped forward. I heard a call. Every star nation throughout different galaxy, different star system heard the call to come in the ways of volunteers. So many star systems have responded and sent out aspects of their people in the form of soul onto the planet, and they're here right now as star seeds. There's many, many Lyrans on the planet. There's many Pleiadians. There's many different levels, from Alpha Centauri. There's different star seeds here. But in my situation is that I knew that I had the skill set, and I knew this is something that I wanted to do, because we understood the need of the hour. We understood that there's so much at stake. There's so much that is worth coming here and be part of this, to witness, to help, to assist, to live side by side with a civilization, a planet on the midst of such a huge phenomenon in terms of reascending. Now people talk about ascension, but in reality you're reascending. You've done this before, but we are reascending to reclaim the higher frequency, that higher way of living. And if you look, even the Earth herself, that living conscious being, she understands that we are gearing up together to be able to so-called make the jump and make the ascension. So we have done this before for other civilizations who were at similar stages of their evolution. And so we assisted them to reach out the potential, to reach out the level of evolution that they were, going to, and also they were moving into. So this is not the first time. I do have my own ship, and I've been traveling through the multiverse in different places. So I always said, think of us as teachers on wheel. When we were moving and we're coming like tutors, we're moving to different locations to help to wherever we are. So this is something we've done before. But at the same time, at this stage of where we are moving into, this is why there's so many eyes on this planet, because never before in creation a planet has fallen so deep in the depth of density and regressed into the density at the third dimensional level, and I'm moving back into reclaiming its place into the higher realms of two-dimensional reality and more. It's truly a phenomenon, and the ripple effects, the repercussion, the ripple effects that what you're doing also affects other home worlds who are also on the verge of making that big jump into higher dimension. So we all interconnected. I know we've talked about your collective on the planet, how much everyone, every thought, every emotion, everything that you invest, where you are moving your energy, where you are investing your belief, affects everyone and everything on the planet. But it doesn't stop just on the planet. It also has ripple effect on to your solar system. It affects other planets, and it goes on. So everyone on the planet is like those radio waves of antennas emitting signals Think of it as those cell towers that constantly emit radio waves so that we can have the Wi-Fi or we can have cell phone reception. It's the same thing. Everyone on the planet is like those cell phone tower that send out signals, your thoughts, what you repeat to yourself, what you also believe, investing your emotional field. The power of your emotion creates so much energy, and it has ripple effect. We can see those waves of energy coming from the planet in terms of frequency, and then it can be distorted frequency or it can be harmonious frequency. So this is why the invitation is focus on the need right now. Bring back yourself, your energy. What do you do on day-to-day basis? How can you contribute? Do you understand who you are? Do you remember who you are? Get to discover those parts of you and get to also get into the consciousness that what you say, what you do, what you think matters. It has an impact on the entire quality of the ecosystem of your world. Think of it as the pebble that you pick up on the banks of the lakes, and you go like, oh, it's fun to throw pebble in the lakes. It makes circles, it makes sounds. It's just fun. It's innocent, right?
Correct.
But in reality, what you're doing is that you're changing the ecosystem of that water, and you don't understand how much you're affecting it and how far it goes. It's the same thing with your thoughts. So this is one of the reasons, one of the layers of why there's so many teachers, the spiritual movements, going back. Look at meditation. Now let's talk about just that for a moment. What is meditation? It's not just to relax and clear your mind, get a connections, clear your chakras, ground yourself. Meditation is a form of discipline. It's a discipline that allows you on a day-to-day basis in a very accessible way to everyone to connect to that part of you and lower the chattering of the lower mind, those little whisper of satellite of influences that comes from Twitter, Facebook, social media, the news. When you lower those waves of distraction and you start to discipline your mind to listen to your soul whisper, listen to your heart, listen to your inner being, you are entering into an inner space of peace, serenity, where the true answers, the knowledge, everything you need to know is. Anyway, I may hear the parts of people say, well, that sounds simple. That's exactly the point. There's great power in the simplicity of discipline of the mind. In a meditative state or meditation, it's a very accessible tool to train yourself in that direction. There's no need for you to have those great teaching and elaborate classes and say, well, I don't see, I get distracted easily. That's okay. The more you do it, every time visualize an ocean. Visualize that you are going deeper in the layers of those waves. Everybody can see a wave. Everybody can visualize an ocean. And when you're looking at the ocean, you will start to identify that the surface waves can be attributed to the distraction of the mind and the influences that we're so used to being bombarded with day after day. And you start to go a little bit deeper. Imagine you're going deeper into the ocean. And when you reach a certain depth, you look back to the surface, the wave of distractions, you may still hear them, but they become just a faint noise in the background. Now you know you're starting to discipline your mind, not the lower mind, your higher mind, and you move on. So those can be easy steps to get you in terms of get yourself in alignment with you. You are the source of your answers. You are the source of your knowledge. You are the source of what you've come to do on this planet at this time. If you are here in physical body, that means that a very, very complex alignment has been made and agreed for you and by you to come on the planet. There are millions of souls who have been wanting to come to the planet, to be there in physical body, to go through the ascension process. And you're the lucky ones here, so congratulations.
Nice.
Because we're here together. And that is amazing. Nice. Very nice.
Viviane Chauvet is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Viviane, Human Carl has a question from our chat room, and he's one of our many vets who listen to this show. And we love you, Human Carl, and thank you for your service for what you do, because we love our veterans around here. And he is asking, he would like to know, how do you know when you are getting a download? What does it feel like?
Oh, I love it. Thank you for your question, and thank you for your service. We honor you very much so. How do you know you're getting a download? So there's different points. Getting a download may feel like an upgrade. You start to feel that without knowing it, there's a knowingness within you that something is different. Something feel different in terms of you may start to see, that colors looks more vibrant. You start to get those higher thoughts coming, those other quality of thoughts. You may start to feel that something is opening. Your senses are more expanded. You feel more sensitive. You become more attuned to your environment. You start to also questioning. You start to realize your perception is shifting. So when you receive downloads, you will also upgrade your physical body. It upgrades all of your point of connections to your light body and so forth. And what happens is that, for example, you may notice that your body may be improving itself, like digesting better, healing a scratch faster, getting more quality of sleep. You start to feel more attuned with yourself. It can be subtlety of changes and yet very potent. And then when you start to allowing those integration to come in a very natural process, you start to realize that the way I started my week on point A and now on point D, if something is shifting about me, what can that be? Is that you may have received a download, you may have received a level of initiation that can be done on a soul level that allows you to tap now into different gifts. You start to feel more attuned and so forth. So it can be subtle and it can also be louder, depending on what kind of downloads you receive and for what purpose. Sometimes it can be just a subtlety to upgrade your body to be a clearer conduit to receive and hold higher frequency of light. That's another aspect. Your physical body also changes as you're evolving consciously, and at the soul level, your body will upgrade to be able to hold those higher frequency of light, those encoding of light coming through. So this is a great question. I hope that the answers speak to you at different level.
Interesting. Very interesting. Let's get to another question here. And this one comes from Justin, who is asking, do you have any knowledge about the pyramids and ancient civilizations?
Wonderful question. Thank you so much for this. Yes. Egypt has been such a turning point in the human evolution and also the Earth history. So if you look at ancient Egypt, so the mystery school of learning with the high priest, high priestess, looking at the pyramid, the alignment that connects with Orion, we know that Egypt has been a big pivotal place, a very pivotal time and space on your planet where there's also being direct ET contact. And we know that those from Orions and Sirians have come to the planet in these times. And so Egypt, there's so many souls, and even to these days, are connected to those ancient timelines. In fact, in Arizona, we have an ancient grid that attracts souls who have had lives in Egypt. It connects to those grids. So The Great Pyramid contains so much knowledge. But what we're very interested in is the activation of the Sphinx. The Sphinx contains a library of, think of it as the Babylonian library or the ancient Alexandria library. The Sphinx contains archives of information that has been said that at some point of time it will be reawakened or reopened again. So Egypt has such a profound impact on the souls of so many on the planet right now. And so we're returning, coming to full circle with those timelines, healing the trauma and extracting the knowledge, understanding how those old structures have started. Government, justice, and all of this. There's different structures that have been implemented that came from Egypt because of the ET contact. And the Sphinx, we are watching with anticipation of the activation of the Sphinx, and the time has come. It's not now, but it's in the coming. It's in the making, if you would.
Makes sense. We've only got about 90 seconds left with you tonight. And let's get to Nikki's question here quickly to try and get it on in. She is asking, are there Arcturian ships in space, in mountains, or in the water here on the planet?
Beautiful question. There's definitely a part of our fleet that is in orbit. Yes, we do have a very important presence to our ship. Arcturians have very powerful technology that are assisted consciously. We do have a presence on the planet. We are not necessarily aquatic people in terms of underwater ship. There's other civilizations that utilize the aquatic part of your planet. We do not per se, but we do have also point of connections. One of them is in Sedona through Bell Rock. We have a portal that we come through our light ship there. We have a point of entry on the planet there. A different place, also place like Costa Rica. We also have other aspects there and so forth. So we have very important outposts throughout the planet, very ancient ones. Not necessarily physical, but they're very etheric outposts. And then we do have a very important presence to our fleet in proximity to your Earth, which is also one of the reasons we monitor your Earth very, very closely. And let's just say that we take care of removing or taking care of monitoring any form of negative influence that might be tempting to come through different interstellar port of entry. So we're definitely here in so many levels. Oh, yes, we are.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Great questions.
Vivian, I want to say thank you so much for coming on Spaced Out Radio tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. We're already getting a lot of our listeners in the chat rooms asking for you to come back, so we have to make that happen. Viviane Chauvet, everybody. Coming up next, we have the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day. Stay tuned. More Spaced Out Radio coming up. Viviane Chauvet, everybody. Let's give her a clap.
Yay, absolutely honored. Thank you. I will be very happy to come back, of course.
All right.
Yes. And do people have access to my website if they want to connect
do you want to give that out?
Yes, that would be wonderful. So we have a blog, we have services, we have also a cover art store on our website, and it's at infinitehealingfromthestars.com, and that is infinitehealingfromthestars.com.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure, and it really warms my heart, Dave, to not only to connect with you, also your amazing audience, and so many saying, "Hey, we want her back." That's for me. It's just amazing gift. So I would be thrilled to be back at your leisure, and we can definitely, talk about it, schedule that, and I'll be thrilled to talk and connect with you your audience, everyone.
Well,
amazing.
Make sure you tune in tomorrow because Geraldine Orozco is on.
Good. That's wonderful.
Yeah. All right, Viv. I got to run here because I got to get the news going. But merci beaucoup, mon ami. Very much appreciate it.
Oui. Oh, merci beaucoup, mon ami. Oui, oui.
All right. Much love.
It's been amazing. Thank you so much, Dave. Much love to you.
Good night.
All right. Bye-bye.
I liked her. I thought she was quite honest. I mean, do I believe in everything she says? No, but you never know. You never know. That's the beauty of this. We all have differing opinions. We all have them. Oh, shit, I gotta find this. Hey, we cracked 7,000 followers on Twitter. We're at 7,002. 7,002. That is wonderful. Wonderful. I'm excited about that. That's kind of cool. All right, we're going to find that tweet from today. There we go. Sorry, I missed, where is that? Chrismo, who's the 11th country? Because I know we're trying, I gotta go get a map. I gotta go get a world map and put it up here on the wall. Absolutely, Human Carl. Absolutely. Hey, Mark, welcome. We got 2.5 minutes, everyone. Mm-hmm. Nah, don't be shitting on my man, R. Keith Andrews. That's special kind of woo right there, man. That's special kind of woo right there. You know how much that woo costs? Mexico? Who's the Mexican? Who's from Mexico? Is that Alex? Is Alex from Mexico? Because that's kind of cool. All right. All right. Yeah, the other night was crazy. We had like people from 9 different countries in here. That was kind of crazy. Awesome crazy, but crazy nonetheless. Hi, Jenny White Bear. How are you? Hi, Eva. Hey, we're into our final commercial here. Hey, Martin, how you doing? All right, let's do this thing, eh? A little bit of thunder. Because we are being thunderstruck right now. We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight. We got the signal. This is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for tuning us in. We want to remind you that if you've missed most of this show or others, check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Speaking of the news, let's get to it, shall we? Remember to follow us on Instagram as well at Spaced Out Radio Show and on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, and the really, this is next. Oh, just when we thought we could get a sigh of relief. If you were playing on your 2020 What Is Going to Happen Next bingo card, I want to know who's ready to cover up bubonic plague. Seriously. That's next. Well, apparently with the world in grips of another unprecedented global pandemic that is causing hundreds of thousands of deaths, millions of infections, and an untold economic catastrophe, last thing we need to hear is that in a remote corner of China, another plague has emerged. Authorities in China warned this weekend of a plague epidemic after a herdsman was diagnosed with bubonic plague, the cause of the Black Death, which killed 50 million people worldwide in the Middle Ages. The alert came from the city of Baianur, located about 550 miles northwest of Beijing. So a hospital was alerted and then contacted municipal authorities on the patient's case. Local authorities took action, issuing a citywide level 3 warning for plague prevention, the second lowest in a 4-level system. At present, there is a risk of human plague epidemics spreading in this city, the local authorities said. And he goes on to say, the public should improve its self-protection awareness and ability and report abnormal health conditions promptly. The authorities also warned against hunting, eating, or transporting potentially infected animals and to report any dead or diseased rodents. Baianur's authorities particularly highlighted the threat from marmots, a type of large ground squirrel that is eaten in some parts of China and neighboring Mongolia. Marmots live in rural areas and are often carriers of the disease. Bubonic plague, which is transmitted by fleas that live off of infected rodents. Isn't that pleasant? As well as direct contact with infected tissue, is one of the plague's 2 main forms. It causes painful, swollen lymph nodes, as well as fever, chills, and coughing. Bubonic plague can be treated with antibiotics if caught early, but if untreated, it is fatal into up to 60% of its cases. Pneumonic plague, which infects the lungs, is a more severe form and is fatal in 90% of untreated cases. Now, Baianur's health officials say the herdsman in question was in stable condition and undergoing treatment. While the plague has been effectively wiped out in large parts of the world thanks to the advent of antibiotics, it still does persist. The Baianur case is Mongolia's 3rd known case of the plague in recent weeks. Monday, authorities lifted restrictions of Kovid province after 2 cases of bubonic plague linked to the consumption of marmot meat, which were reported a week ago. So in other words, don't eat marmots, all right? They may be infected with bubonic plague, and that just wouldn't be good. We don't need any more plagues for 2020. That's just the truth. Total truth. All right, moving on here. According to a new analysis from scientists at the University of Nottingham in England, we don't have a lot of alien company. Oh, here we go. Here come the skeptic articles now. On June 15th, 2 researchers published a paper in the Astrophysical Journal arguing that the Milky Way, which sports an estimated 7 or several 100 billion stars could host as few as 36 societies of alien species. That's a surprisingly tiny number, although the authorities also made a second, more generous analysis in which they say that count could be as many as 1,000. Either way, their conclusion is that, like stick-shift cars, extraterrestrial civilizations are few and far between. The implication is that our nearest cosmic chums are at least several thousand light years away. You may wonder why this story has raised eyebrows. Well, it would make Homo sapiens extraordinarily special. Despite the fact that the galaxy is stuffed with planets, it discomfits scientists because historically, every time we thought we occupy a privileged position in the universe, we were wrong. Remember that 6 centuries ago, we learned folks would have to assure that the Earth was the center of the cosmos. It is not. So how did the British experts arrive at stunningly low estimates? After all, previous studies on this topic fill a small hoard of hard drives. Astronomer Carl Sagan figured that the Milky Way houses 1 million societies. A more conservative claim is that that number is closer to 10,000, but many Brits are disagreeing. The scientists arrived at the lowball tally by using a variant of Drake equation, eventually favoriting everyone's favorite method to gauge alien head counts. This famous formula, which was introduced by astronomer Frank Drake in 1961, is a string of 7 parameters that, when multiplied together, estimate the number of technologically adept societies in a galaxy. The parameters include the abundance of Earth-like planets, the fraction of that small spawn life, etc. All right. Is there aliens out there? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we got aliens. Totally got aliens. Animal control officers in Victoria, British Columbia, have evicted a male peacock from an apartment entrance after the bird's daily courtship activities recently escalated to attack a resident. The large bird clawed a woman's hand as she tried to get into the building. Ian Fraser, Victoria's senior animal control officer, said. He said the peacock eluded animal control officers until it was caught when it began 2 weeks ago in a humane bird facility to cool off during its mating season. In other words, this bird was horny. The peacock, was making a royal nuisance of itself. There was no doubt about that, Fraser said. It was blocking off the entranceway to the building. There's a lot of seniors in that building, and actually it had attacked a lady and put a sizable gash into the back of her hand. Fraser said he suspects the peacock wandered out of Beacon Hill Park and decided to relocate to the apartment entrance after being attracted by its glass features. I guess the peacock sees its reflection in the window entranceway of the apartment and thinks, I'm a handsome bird. I need to look at me more. Apartment resident Susan Simmons said the peacock wandered over to the building from the nearby park in the spring and wouldn't leave. She said it squawked at passing vehicles, performed mating dances for female peacocks, and fought with other males who came near the building. He just set up shop and was here every day, all day, Simmons said, made it his home. He had firmly decided it was his territory. He had territory fights with other peacocks. Oh, they were dropping the gloves. Actually, in Victoria, they're probably having the whips and chains there. I don't know. She said that she also saw the peacocks chase a gardener and a delivery courier before it attacked the building resident. It was right for the city to take him away, Simmons says. Now what they've done is put him in peacock jail while his hormones calm down. Fraser said Beacon Hill Parks is home to many of the city's peacocks, and it is unusual for the birds to leave that green space. Sad news from the country music world. Hall of Famer Charlie Daniels, yes, the man who gave us the brilliancy of The Devil Went Down to Georgia, recorded with Bob Dylan, and was a vocal supporter of U.S. veterans, died at the age of 83 after suffering a hemorrhagic stroke. By the time the Charlie Daniels Band topped the charts with The Devil in 1979, the instrumentalist, singer, and songwriter had long established a remarkable, multifaceted career in Nashville. A session musician, he played on 3 of Bob Dylan's albums, including the revolutionary Nashville Skyline, as well as recordings with Ringo Starr and Leonard Cohen. He was a fixture of the touring circuit for the next 40 years, became a tireless advocate for servicemen and women, and entered the information age as one of country music's most outspoken conservative voices. His music fused the immediacy of Southern rock with the classic country storytelling that he heard as a child. Kyle Young, CEO of the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum, said, he brought new audiences to country music, pointing to people to the sources, even as he explored the edges. He has survived survived by his wife Hazel, son Charlie Jr., and Alea Noling and Evan Tubb, whom Daniels considered his grandchildren. Isn't that nice? God bless him. After a drought of many years, there is a cautious optimism about Comet Neowise, a naked eye comet that is set to be visible in the northern sky this month. It should be visible from the UK, if you don't mind staying up late. Yeah. So Comet C/2020 F3 Neowise, as it's often referred to, was discovered on March 27th of this year by the Neowise Space Telescope. It reached perihelion, its closest point to the sun, on July 3rd, and will make its closest approach to Earth almost 3 weeks from now on July 23rd, when it will be passing us at a distance of 103 million kilometers away. Wonder if there's a Taco Bell out there for it to stop by. That's close enough in cometary flyby terms, but it's still more than 400 times further away than the moon. As it is rounded the sun, we are hopeful that Comet Neowise would reach naked eye brightness, but so far scientists are not sure, and they're still nursing bruises from earlier in the year when a couple of comets that look like they might become bright enough to see without binoculars or telescopes fizzled out and broke apart. So this past weekend, news that Comet Neowise is bright enough to see with the naked eye came as a huge relief for comet observers in the northern hemisphere. So keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. Because, you know, some about comets, they're exciting, okay? They are exciting. So when is it visible? Well, it would be visible before sunrise and after sunset. Mid-northern latitudes, which means I'm in the game for seeing this. Yes, but will remain a challenging object. No. It will never climb very high in the sky. Even if it does, it'll maintain its zero magnitude for a while. The brightness of the July sky will make it look fainter than a star of that magnitude because of it is a diffuse object like a galaxy or a nebula rather than a point source. But it's there. It's visible to the naked eye, reportedly a beautiful sight in binoculars and telescopes. So they encourage you to go outside and check it on out. I think you should as well. Because seeing comets in the sky, honestly, it's very cool. We don't get to do that very often in our lives. A Nebraska farmer drained a pond on his property because he had to do some maintenance. But he found a surprise in there. An ATM had been dumped in the water. Win Hall said he started the process of draining the pond, which is used for pumping waters off of his field, checked on it the following morning, said he initially thought the object stuck in the mud was a household appliance. I thought, who would throw away a refrigerator or a stove and put it in the pond? In fact, the deepest part of the pond, why would it be down there? He said it wasn't until he took a photo of the object that he was able to identify it. He says, I took the photo, zoomed in, and thought, that looks like an ATM. The farmer said he doesn't know how long the ATM was in the pond since he didn't drain it in 2019, but it didn't appear to have been in the water for more than a few weeks. Hall contacted the Fillmore County Sheriff's Office, which sent a team to haul the ATM away. He said deputies told him an ATM had recently been stolen in the area. The ATM wasn't the only unusual stolen item to turn up in a body of water recently. A South Carolina boy magnet fishing in Whitney Lake back in May pulled up a large metal item that turned out to be a heavy safe. The safe, landed by 6-year-old Knox Brewer, was stolen from a neighbor's home 8 years earlier. How's this for vindication? Well, where's this story? Yeah, a suspected drug plane made an emergency landing on the highway in Mexico, but that landing didn't go too well, and the plane burst into flames. A jet aircraft suspected of carrying illegal drugs had been destroyed by fire after landing on a highway in southern Mexico. A lorry packed with 390 kilograms of cocaine was found nearby in the state of Quintana Roo, military officials said. The plane had been detected by the Mexican military as it entered its airspace and was followed by jet fighters. Troops were dispatched to the landing site, but there were no reports of arrests. And some very unhappy drug lords at that same time. Oh, we love a good Florida man story around here, but we also love the Karen stories too. An Arizona woman has been dubbed a Karen after she filmed herself destroying a rack of face masks inside a Target store, claiming the pandemic is over and boasting that she had a $40,000 Rolex watch. The video, which was uploaded on the Instagram account of Melissa Rain Lively, who runs a public relations company in Scottsdale, it's gone viral, as these things normally do. Finally, we meet the end of the road. I've been looking forward to this crap all my life, she says as she films a rack of hold on, an ad popped up there. Let's close this out. Here we go. Finally, we meet the end of the road. And she said as she films a rack of selling various face masks inside a Target. She then proceeds to aggressively rip the masks from the shelves and fling them onto the floor. This crap is over. This is over. This crap is over. Woo! I don't need this crap. We don't want any more of this crap over, she was overheard saying as she spread the masks around the ground. Oh, nice lady. Very nice lady. Yes, she made a beautiful mess. Anyways, 2 Target employees then approached her and said the mess that she was making and said, "Ma'am, can you please stop? That's a little bit too polite for this." "Why? You let everyone else do it. Why? I can't do it because I'm blonde, white, and a woman? I'm wearing a effing $40,000 Rolex. I don't have the right to screw things up. Oh, this girl has a potty mouth. Oh, shame on her." The video viewed over 7 million times already. Second video filmed on Instagram of the profile of the brand consortium the marketing brand Lively is CEO of shows the cops arresting her at her home following the Target incident. In the clip, Lively claims she's a spokesperson for QAnon and the White House. "I was hired to be a QAnon spokesperson," she said, the clip adding police could call Donald Trump and ask him, claiming she can't share any classified information. Oh, this is a live one here. Very much a live one. And on that note, let's get to it, shall we? Thought of the Day happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Day is as follows. Well, let's get to it, shall we? What's your thoughts on people who claim they've been healed by aliens? Start off with our buddy Marty, another great veteran who listens to this show. We love you, Marty. Thank you for the clown. That one scares me, by the way. Depends on both the cure as well as the disease. Sometimes the cure is worse than the disease. Just ask Whitley Strieber. Oh, isn't that nice? Shanna, I find it fascinating and want to hear more such stories on Spaced Out Radio. And if they can heal a broken heart, well, I could use a little help with that. Much love to you. I know why. She just lost her sister recently, so we got to send Shanna some love. Canadian Joe, does Whitley count? Nathan, I believe them, especially the ones that had diseases and conditions that are incurable or untreatable by us. Juan, physically or mentally? Classy and sassy, they've been alienated for years. Thank you, Raina. Lisa Robb, I think it's definitely possible. Travis Walton said the aliens healed him from the unintended electrical shock radiation exposure from their craft, which was the reason for his abduction, basically. They likely have far advanced medical knowledge to possibly cure all diseases. Look up. Got a DM? I'll share something with you, and then you tell me what you think it was. Oh, well, we'll see what he sends. Lone Wolf, well, if they could cure my central pain syndrome, I'm all for it. Space monkeys, take me away. Let's move over to Facebook. Russell, it happens. Chris, it's a big multiverse out there, and anything is possible. Gail, I think we get the best answer to this if we ask the person who's been healed. Personally, any way healing comes is a very good thing. By an alien, I just say thank you. Gabe, I think I may have been one of them. Ooh, gotta go into detail about that, Gabe. Susan, I'd want to know where the hell my UFO ambulance is. Sorry, I just caught a comment on YouTube. Dave has an awesome quinoa and kale taco recipe. No, I do not. No, I do not. If I ever see quinoa again, it'll be too soon. Cable Guy Matt, I've been healed by humans many times, so why can't the aliens do the same? Natalie in Belgium, I'm not a big one on making any claims about anything, but I do have a memory of a few weeks ago that maybe links to this. One night, I was sleeping with my partner, and I wake up out of nowhere and see this bright white light around me, and I remember thinking, what is this? What is happening? But it was so bright, I could not see a thing. And suddenly, I got a thought that everything was okay. I was getting some healing, and I could go back to sleep. Now, the next morning, this was mind-blowing. Not only because that was something I'd never experienced before in my life, but also because I'm a very deep sleeper. So normally, I would not even remember waking up at night. Ooh, we'll leave it right there on the thought of the day. Thank you to everybody who participated today, and we will do it all again on Facebook and Twitter tomorrow. And big thanks to Captain Shirk for putting together a fantastic SOR newswire. It can be found on our website, spacedoutradio.com. And of course, to our guest tonight, Viviane Chauvet. Oh, I love saying that name. Viviane Chauvet, for talking about healing from the stars. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, at work, in your cars, wherever you may be on this wonderful planet. Thank you to everybody in our chat rooms on Spreaker, YouTube, LGAB, Revolution Radio, Facebook, the SOR Space Travelers Club on our website, and to all the snarkers and snarkettes hanging out on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Damn it, did we ever bring the woo tonight? I know you're out there somewhere. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends, we're watching. We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. The Woo train may have docked for the night, but we shall ride again. Remember, your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, there's room for them too. Good night. That's a good show, people. Congratulate yourselves. We kicked ass tonight. We kicked ass tonight. Good job. Fuck yeah. Oh, I'm, I don't know why. I'm just like pumped up about this one. We did well tonight, people. Very well. Yeah. Fuck yeah. That's a good show. Very good show. Oh man. We had a good hair day today. We had a good show, you know. Oh, yeah. I'm pretty happy about this. Very happy about this. This is good stuff. All right, let's go like this. Why is that still showing that we're live? Oh, there we go. Weird. Oh, it's kind of cool. All right, I'll be right back, guys. I shall be right back while this is downloading. Hey, Roy, play. All right. Here we go. That's what I heard. Trip was caring for his mom. So I don't really blame him. All right. All right, so let's start our editing process. Hold on. Hold on. I'll show you this guitar too. My daughter's. I haven't held a guitar in a while. I'm terrible. That's all I got. That's all I got for right now. I'll put this one up here. Make a trade there. Move this one over here. Oh. Put this one down here for now. Anyways, that's kind of what we do around here. All right, now I gotta find that file. God damn it, every time. That is a nice guitar. That's my daughter's. But she said I could hang it up in here. Oh, for God's sakes. Why didn't that save? Or did it? I'm just missing it. Oh, there it went. Okay, so let's just go like that. We'll go like this. All right, there we go. Hey, Alex, welcome to the family, man. Thank you for coming on in and hanging out with us. We are here Monday through Friday, man. Good night, Jules. Much love. What do you mean crossing on the wall? Well, I got to do my editing yet, Len. That's what I'm doing right now. You know, about an hour and a half before showtime, I didn't know if I was going to actually make it tonight because I went into almost a migraine mode. And so I came home from my daytime job. I had about an hour and a 10-minute nap. Went and ate some dinner. And then decided that I would pop some medicine and some headache medicine, and then went and sat in a dark room and had a hot shower for a little bit, and came out feeling pretty damn good. The only thing I don't like about that is what am I doing here? Shoot. Sorry, this is save this as. No, I put that in. That's Sam Hill. Hold on. Now I gotta listen to this. Something doesn't seem right. Hi there, this is Dave Scott from Space. Oh, I guess I did do it properly. Cool. Hey, Brutus. Alex, where are you from? Hi, Davey. Crotch kick. I know they do suck, don't they, Nikki? Excuse me. Oh, I guess you were. Or I forget. Right. All right. Editing is done. How's beautiful Teresa? How was your weekend? This is going to be... All right, it's that time once again to get your 6-digit verification code. Get that 6-digit verification code ready, people. 197 841. 197 841 is your verification code. 197 841. Let's make it happen, people. See you, Chemical. Thanks for coming on in. Good job, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Good job, Human Carl. Fantastic job tonight. Ouch. Ow, that sucked. All right, I think we are done there. Now we can start this portion of the Dropbox. Delete this. Then upload this. There we go. We're on our way. We are on our way. How short are you going to have to cut your hair, Dave? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But it'll be short enough. It'll be short enough. That was Nick. That was Steve Isdall. Oh, Alex is in Mexico. That's awesome. I started growing my hair in September of 2017. Yeah. Yeah, my hair was like really maybe that long when I started on top. Geraldine and I do not script a thing. Hey, Fabster. How much for it? I don't know. Should I step it off? I'm just waiting to hear from one of our listeners who may be going into chemotherapy. And she said that if she ends up doing that and losing her hair, that she may want it. So I would send it to her. So that's what I'm waiting on. I have the nicest hair in my family, man. I'm going to be honest with you, I do. My one daughter hates it. My other daughter is like, your hair is nicer than mine. And I'm like, yeah, it is. Where are we on the downloads? We should probably check this. 73% and 3 files left. Very cool. We're getting there. I don't have a brush on me, but I could braid it. You know, just the way it is. Oh, what do you think? Could do this. What do you think? That one's broken. Well, maybe we can tie this one up. I think I could braid this. I don't know. Not really good at it without seeing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Ah, hell with it. I need a mirror. Back part is what screws me up. %89 on one, and one file left. All right, one feed is done. And the second one is almost done. So I'm going to wrap this thing up, everybody. Thank you so much for for coming on and hanging out with us. I really do appreciate it. Tomorrow night on the show, Geraldine Orozco. Do I use hand crank? No. I use shock cable, man. Tomorrow night, Geraldine Orozco and the spiritual you and the lovely and talented Geraldine will be with us, 9 p.m. Pacific. You guys know where it all is. It's right here, man. It's right here. So we'll check it on out. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And much love to all of you. Thank you so much to Davey, Patrick, and Gutter for the super chats tonight. And yeah, keep rocking to the big Bumblefoot, man. You know what you should do is, mention to him. Go seriously. I've had a number of people do this over the years. Go up to him on Twitter or Facebook, his Bumblefoot Facebook page, and just message him and tell him publicly and just say, hey, I'm a big fan. I've listened to you on Spaced Out Radio. He usually replies. He loves it when our audience reaches out to him. He really does. So make sure you do.